Well, I take you to the greatest shop.
Oh my God, that sounds so good right now. Cause it's been how long has it been since we've been down here doing some BS for y'all? Actually, I've been doing some stuff behind the scenes, but don't hold me to that. But anyway, boys, we missed y'all, man. The Shattered Illusionz Podcast is back. I'm
Well,
gonna
I
play it
take you
twice.
to the greatest shop.
Look, we're here for you guys, fellas. Back in full effect. No more delays, especially after the news we had this past week. Definitely ain't gonna be no more delays. It's gonna be a little bit more difficult getting y'all some content, but you know it is what it is. One monkey or one thing don't stop the show. Before we get started, fellas, like the video. Please comment down, subscribe. Let us know what you want to see. I'm not gonna hold the show up too much longer. Alex, welcome back. How you feeling?
I could be better, but I'm here, so it's all right.
Yeah, she messed around and twisted her ankle. Guys, she was
Mm,
trying to hit,
not to win.
as D said, hit the you guys. y'all seen that? Y'all seen roll bounce when he finally did that final move against Sweetness and he fell and busted his head.
Yeah,
That was her the
that was.
past couple of days. So, and without further ado, I have to go ahead and welcome back my brother D. How you feeling, bro?
Well, I take you to the greatest shop.
Man, I'm good, blessed, highly favored. You know what I'm saying? So everything is what it's supposed to be. Everything where it's supposed to be.
You know I had to have you back for this episode. We about to get into some heavy technical stuff. Again, guys,
Yeah,
like the video. Want to shout out to C Marty Fit. Go follow him. Less Brunches, More Crunches on YouTube. My guy's been killing it. He'll be back down here soon. And also, shout out to our man Tunes, Mr. Sweat for the Check. Go follow him as well on Instagram and IG. I think his IG is Sweat for the Check, and then his YouTube should be the same. But anyway, I was having a pretty good day, pretty good week actually the past couple of days, man. Got a lot done. I've been productive on my work and personal life and even some of my physical goals here. And also, the thing I want you guys to realize is that when you have days like that, inevitably something bad's gonna happen. So I'm not going to necessarily say where I work for, but just know that I'm employed with the federal government. And as you've seen these things kind of maneuver around the news the past couple of weeks, you know what's been happening. The executive orders basically ordering people back to work. I try to keep my political views and stuff off the podcast, but I will say the person that I voted for is now in office, so I guess you can pretty much see who that is. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not too happy when it comes to that aspect. But what I always will say is that I wait to see how things happen before I fully make a decision. But just right now, I'm not too happy with it, especially with the federal workforce. It's like a change that's happened now, bro. It's like people now all of a sudden, federal workers are now like the devil to most people. And I never saw that prior to what happened over the past couple of weeks. And I was talking to one of my friends. I think part of it is a little bit of jealousy, because people been able to work from home, take care of the children, and but still work at the same time. But now they're demonized. It's like, oh, you guys are lazy. You weren't doing any work. And I can tell you for a fact that most federal workers actually were working, but they did enjoy the luxuries of being at home.
yeah.
But long story short, man, I'll be back in the office 5 days a week, and it's kind of made me a little bit mad. So today we're going to talk about a couple of different things. The first thing we're going to talk about is the end of remote work and its impact on millennials. Because I think that us as millennials, we probably have led the charge of having remote work. Before that, it's kind of just been more of like, what's the ones before? Generation X, right? And then the baby boomers.
Yeah.
They had the traditional go to work 5 days a week, 40 hours, whatever the case is. And millennials have kind of came back and said, look, we can do our job and be at home.
And be more efficient.
On top of that, and not only because of that, but technology as well has played a big part of that happening. So, Alex, you want to kind of tackle the remote work question real quick? Like, why do you think it's been so advantageous to not only millennials, but companies as well? And go ahead the top angle when you answer the question,
Okay.
please.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, so I just feel like companies obviously probably just think they're getting abused when it comes to it. Obviously, it's convenient for the average person who maybe childcare might be too expensive. We get stuff done during the day, but there are some people who take advantage, and I feel like majority, or they're trying to punish everybody for maybe a couple people's mistakes.
Yeah. I definitely think that the illusion of remote work is definitely shattered, with no pun intended, for the foreseeable future. And guys, don't worry. We're gonna get to this remote work, and we'll talk a little dating and stuff too. So don't worry. We're not just gonna be all talking about remote work. We'll have some date stuff in here too. We know y'all want that. So, but why do you think that millennials have embraced remote work the way we have over the past couple years?
I think for us, efficiency matters. Being able to be at home and you can get your work done. And I think the biggest thing people take for granted is traffic. Like
Bro.
the time you spend in traffic, going to work. That's average person 45 minutes to an hour in this area. You know what I'm saying? Coming home 45 minutes to an hour
On average.
So you're having a 10, 11 hour work day really, because you got to travel to work and get home. And let's not get started on the metro. You know what I'm saying? You get on the metro and you want to just ride home. You never know what to expect when you get on the metro. So it's almost like again, and you're gonna get more work out of me being remote, because all right, I can get up, I can eat my breakfast, I can start on my work, get things done, and I might not even take a lunch because I'm feeling good. I'm in my own space. I'm getting stuff done. But when I'm at work, of course, I want to especially people get overstimulated, social anxiety, and all those other types of things. I think our generation has recognized some of the things that our maybe parents has looked over and said, I'll just do it. Work hard for the company. If you stay along with the company, you'll have this or you'll have that. But that's not the case now. So I think people are realizing even the sweat equity. Like if I go and do my best day's work, I still may never get a raise. I may never get a promotion. So that's why I would say this is the generation of entrepreneurship.
And bro, it's so messed up because like I see a lot of people kind of crank and hunker down on millennials, because I'm not going to lie. When you have two extremes of something, the truth is somewhere normally in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
You have those that say millennials are just scum of the earth, they're lazy as hell. And have other people that say millennials are just innocent and completely just victimized by the system. And again, it's probably somewhere right in that middle, because bro, it's really, really, really not fair, because we talk about it all the time, but we have to work 2 to 3 times as hard just to basically survive out here and not necessarily even have the things that our parents had.
And it's essentials. It's not like a want, it's essential, like a car, a house. Like
Right.
these things are costing an all-time high. The interest rates on house, like now you have to have triple what your parents had at that age, or where they, so when
Triple.
Even when you're talking and we talk about, well, as you said, as you alluded to, some of the jealousy, even with the federal workers. Let's think about it in this instance, when they start talking about they're going to eliminate student loan debt. You heard a lot of baby boomers or other people saying that's not fair. We paid it back, but wouldn't you? It's kind of a little harder on us. So it's just a funny thing there.
And it's so messed up. To 2 points on that, right? Let's say that you moved into a neighborhood, and where we are, PG County, right?
Yeah.
We have some really nice houses around here. You could have moved into that area 15, 20 years ago, had a 1.5, 2% interest rate, and you're paying, I don't know, $2,500 a month for a huge house.
Mm-hmm.
A millennial will move into that neighborhood and have a 6% interest rate and then be paying like $4,200, $4,500.
6 is being generous right now.
Exactly,
Yeah,
bro.
so-
But you get my point.
Yeah.
So we have to literally, you're sitting there saying millennials are lazy, but you have it so much better because you got into the market at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not fair.
Yeah, definitely worked out for you. Well, worked out for the baby boomers in relation to us. And I know we've had a little things harder, and they had a little things harder.
Sure.
But to call the millennials lazy is really a funny statement. And again, I think it's rooted in envy and jealousy at some point.
But it's so funny, bro. Like I had never saw like the kind of envy that I've seen over the past couple of weeks for federal workers until recently. Like most people didn't care about federal workers up until, you know, the executive orders and the election started happening. I mean, people thought, our parents thought that you got a federal government job in the past and you were set. And you were set at one point in time, literally. You got your pension, Social Security, all that stuff. But now it's like the federal government is not the safe haven that it once was. Not only because of what's going on, but because of the fact everything else is so much more expensive.
But that gets into, you know, what we thought was the American dream, right?
But I'm glad you said that.
You know, what we thought was, you know, you get, like you said, you go to school for 4 years, get your degree, get a good government job, you know, get a good pension, die, you know, get married, have children, you know, all those things. But now you look at it with a microscope and you say, was that really a dream, or was that a fantasy? Was that a illusion? You know, that's how I look at it now, of saying, even with the sweat equity, you know, they tell you to work hard. But what happens when you work hard for yourself? What happens when, instead of when you're getting out of school and you're learning, they're teaching you all this math, unless you're becoming somewhere of a scientist or something else? When are you going to utilize it? Why not in high school teach money management? Those things. These are a lot of things that I think about now, and I think a lot of our generation think about, of why you're almost you know, getting tricked or thrown in the trick bag. I feel like
Facts.
If you really study how the Rockefellers designed the school system, and I went back and I read some of that stuff, they purposely designed you to keep you like as a worker ant or a worker bee, not to make money, not to think independently for yourself. Because if you did those things, if everybody had financial freedom, essentially, no, everybody wouldn't have it. So they want to keep that kind of divide between the haves and the have-nots. But Andrew Tate has said this: it's not going to be haves and have-nots no more. It's going to be, you ain't got shit or you got a yacht. Like, literally, it's not going to be a middle class. The middle class is pretty much essentially dead at this point.
And that's what we talk about. So if you think about, especially in this area, in Prince George's County or DC area, most of the people have federal government jobs, or if not DC government jobs. You know that you're getting this government money. But now, if you eliminate these jobs, that's what the system is doing now. You're forcing people to become not middle class anymore, eventually poor. Because guess what? Most people in this country live paycheck to paycheck. There's not many people that can miss a paycheck or two and keep their home. It's just not possible in this day and time, where you have to, not only housing, you go to the grocery store, you go to gas, you know, these essential things that you need to even operate and having a job. So a lot of the jobs where we thought were safe, right? We thought you get a government job, you're safe, but that is not the case. And I think people realizing this, and I think people, what we talk about all the time, you need other streams of income. You cannot depend, which people once thought, on the government.
I'm glad you said that, bro. But before we go down that rabbit hole, I want to also kind of talk about the thing that they're trying to say, that, you know, we want you guys back in the office for collaboration purposes. You know, you to see your team is going to have higher employee morale. We're going to be more effective. That's not the case. And please don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not a person that's going to sit down here and bitch about nothing. I told you, it is what it is. But I have to call a spade too. They want us back in these offices because what? These buildings have been sitting vacant for 3-4 years, right? So much to the point that a lot of them actually sold off real estate space because people weren't using it. That's using up taxpayer money to use electricity, water, maintenance, all that stuff, right? And not only that, Biden even said this before Trump came into office. When people aren't going to work, they aren't riding metro, they aren't paying for parking, they aren't buying food,
parking tickets.
There no parking tickets.
You see how much DC, you know how much DC made off this affects the people up top. You know, I think it's some type of bonus system when we make a certain amount of revenue. This is a bonus for the people up top. So if I can't get people coming into DC and traveling, because you don't have enough parking for these people that are coming in, so of course you're going to accumulate parking tickets, and you can't park anywhere in DC. So that's what's insane to go from the extreme of this, because again, this is an agenda which they haven't pointed out. Like you said, we need the morale for the team. Everybody needs to see each other. That's not true. Things have been getting done. I know for a fact, even for what I do, You know, our team has had great numbers, some of the best numbers that they ever seen. So it's not about efficiency. It's not about it's another agenda that they're trying to hide. But you know, we're seeing this agenda come out. You know, we're seeing some of this thing of eliminating the middle class because guess what? You might have people that just cannot go back to work 5 days. They can't because again, they don't have the money for childcare. They don't have the resources to even go to work 5 weeks because they don't got the gas money or to pay for metro because of the times.
And not to mention, because everything's so expensive, people have moved on the outskirts of, you know, city life. So they've moved an hour and a half away to save a little bit of money. But now they're saying, hey, everybody come back to the office. And now that money you thought you were saving is probably going to be spending 2 to 3 times what you would have been spending if you would have just stayed in the city.
So let's talk about it. You work in DC, right? You work in DC, a normal travel day, even if you get in the metro, you're spending $12 to $20 just on metro for parking.
Easy.
For parking, if you park there, or if you just, even if you do ride, let's say you do ride share, you know, even if you decide to do ride share, Uber, Lyft, whatever you decide to do, that's going to cost you money too. And guess what? You know, we're adults. Sometimes you don't feel like fixing lunch every day or cooking for the week. You might not. Some people are more disciplined with that. But if you're not disciplined with that, guess what? You're spending $12 to $15 for lunch every day. It's no $5 lunch in DC unless you're going to go eat boiled hot dogs, which I'm not doing. But, you know, that's some of the things that, again, that people have to think about that's going on. You know, we got to realize, and I don't think it's complaining. It's realization like, all right, you know, I might gotta do different budget, or I might gotta eat a couple of noodles. You know, it's just things that people really might have to do. And again, imagine we're not even gonna go because this will go down another rabbit hole. Imagine making the 6 figures and it's still not enough for you. You know, that's because that used to be a part of the American dream too. You make 6 figures, you're good
For life.
Yeah, but that's not the case. You know, you could send your kids to college, you could do this, you could do that, but that's not the case now. People are having to go into the entrepreneurship, having to pick up a second job. Imagine having a high-level job, right? And you have to go work at Walmart at night. Like that's crazy to me to think about.
And you can speak on this better than I can, bro. But like even having a family, like I don't have any family whatsoever. Like when I'm saying family, I mean like no wife and no kid and stuff.
Immediate,
right?
yeah.
Right. So like I don't have to think about somebody's well-being or take care of somebody as a child or a wife or whatever the case, or spend time with them at all. And I still have points to my point where I make good money, but I still think to myself, do I really need that right now? You know, and if I'm being honest, the majority of the money that I spend is not even on me; it's on my girl and it's on food. The rest of it just kind of like I either put it to like in a Wi-Fi area, something like that, or I just kind of keep it. But my point in saying that is I make enough money where it's just me as a single man. I should have an abundant surplus to like last me if something should happen. I do have that on the side, don't get me wrong, but it's not because of my job. You know, so it's just really messed up. So I want to pose the question to both you and Alex right now. Do you guys think that the return to office and the remote work dying, is that the wake-up call that millennials finally need to stop doing this 9-to-5 wage slavery?
I think it will wake up a lot of people because we'll see a lot of people, and it's sad to say, we'll see a lot of people lose things, houses, apartments, cars. You'll see people lose these things because of this. Because I already said, you know, people work paycheck to paycheck. So imagine not having your people. You know, you don't have a paycheck. You get laid off, you don't have a paycheck. Most situations, we're going to see a high rate of homelessness. You know, these things are coming. You got to be realistic with it. So it will be a wake-up call once you look over and you see a friend ask you, hey, can I come stay with you? Hey, or we going to have to, you're going to see a lot of roommate situations. It's really real out here. People, the things that people going to have to do to survive, it's going to be really real. And it's not to scare anybody, but this is the realization that I've come to of things that you may have to do in the next 6 to 8 months.
I'm going to say this. It should be a wake-up call for a lot of people. And I think for those that actually want to be woken up, they're going to wake up. But for the rest of the people, they're going to stay asleep until something catastrophic happens.
It has to be something catastrophic because, again, it's the old story, the old tale of the old man. The old man's on the porch with that dog. You know, he has the dog has the tail under the rocking chair. The old man keeps going back. Every time he hits the dog's tail, the dog starts screaming. Somebody comes say, "Oh man, why you keep doing that to the dog?" I'm not doing nothing to the dog. If it hurts bad enough, he'll move.
Yep. But I think there's so many other things other than just the job market. We have our health crisis. We have mental health crisis and stuff like that. And people are still not taking that serious. So I think that those that are
What do you mean they're not taking it serious? And which way?
mental health.
What do you think? Why do you think people don't take mental health serious? Because that's interesting to me, because I feel like this generation takes mental health serious way more than our parents or older cousins and stuff. I feel like because the old days, like, oh, something wrong with him. No, this person has a bipolar, is addressed more than I think it used to be.
And in some aspects, we are light years above our parents and our grandparents when it comes to mental health. In other aspects, no. And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Think of the things like the TikTok and Instagram, social media. We know those things are bad for our brain, but we cannot stop using them because we constantly compare ourselves to other people. We know that it's fake. We know it's an illusion, but also not only are we still using these devices, we're still eating bad. We're not spending time in nature. We're not spending time in silence. All these things are necessary for us to have, quote unquote, good mental health.
Mm-hmm.
We'll say we have bad mental health, right? But our diets are shit. We spend all this time in blue light. We're not sitting there reflecting, spending time with God, writing in the word, wherever the case is. We have a lot of people that diagnose problems, but we don't have people that actually know how to fix them,
Can I say something then? You
Sure.
brought a great point and it made me think. So we talk about this remote work, right? You talking about spending time with God. How do you feel about the millennial? Because I think we led the charge in this. What do you think about remote church? Because I feel like when you say spending time with God, is it really spending time with God if I turn church on, right? And I'm folding clothes, I'm doing my laundry? Because would you do this really at church? It's convenient for you, right? It's convenient, but would you do this? You're not in the church, and can you really even focus on what the preacher's saying or what's going on in service?
This is going to sound so hypocritical, but here it goes. We're sitting here saying how remote work should be an option for most people, right? But with that being said, if I'm truthful, I don't mind going into the office once or twice a week, something like that. 5 days is a little bit extreme for me. And what I'm saying that is because I don't necessarily think that you can have that same connection on a virtual church as you will have as in person.
Mm-hmm.
I think that applies to work, that applies to podcasts. Even when I watch regular podcasts like this, I don't like having somebody to have to dial in and talk to them. Don't get me wrong, it's cool, and I would do it if it was the last resort. But I think that personal interaction is needed sometimes. If you're sick and you have to like go on remote work or something like that, or you have to go on like a virtual church setting, fair enough. But you need to go in there and actually be with your church members, have the pastors lay hands on you, and you feel the music and you feel people's spirit a lot better in person, in my opinion.
Yeah. So it's actually a verse in the word where it talks about don't forsake the fellowship.
Yeah,
like you can't forsake the fellowship. But like I said, I just think I think remote work is a little different than church because that's 1 day a week, right?
Yeah.
If I have 1 day a week, right, and this is the only problem. I'm not trying to bash anybody, but it's just a thought. I want people to think about this. We have church once a week, and you're supposed to go. You go once a week, and it seems like it's a heavy lift for people because not only would you're gonna watch church online, right? Because you can't go nowhere. But after church is finished and you watch church, let's say if you watch at 8 to 10, you're gonna go hit the brunch.
Oh, fine.
So you can go to brunch and you can go to these other places, but that's what I mean convenience. And I just wanted to just provoke thought because again, yes, we want remote work, and I think remote work is healthy. Again, what I do with my staff, we come in, even if we come in once a week, I do want to do something where maybe we go to a game, maybe we go to a restaurant, maybe we go bowling, maybe we go to Top Golf, maybe we could do those things or have something where we can do a little fellowship outside of work. But, if for me, again, remote work, I think has been an essential point of, and I guess we do have to find the in the middle because we also do have to feed the economy in certain type of way.
Yeah. And I like I said, bro, I don't want to think that I'm on for one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not necessarily for 5 days in the office because I think times have changed.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go back in time and you don't have to necessarily mail letters anymore. Not because that post office isn't effective. It's just we found more effective means to get the job done. And I think remote work kind of does that same exact thing. Honestly, it will save your company money. It will save your team's morale, and will also bring people like it's a retain. It's an incentive to be retained by companies as well. And I think this whole dog and pony show of like, oh, it's about morale and the team being together, it's a bunch of horse shit. It really is about one thing: control. So the thing I want the guys to take away from this, man, is that Deep alluded to it. The days of having a stable job where you can depend on it is over. So what are you going to do about that? You cannot anymore. If you want to be in that 1% or even in the upper middle class, you can't rely on one source of income anymore. There's going to be some videos coming out soon, and I'll talk about some other avenues that you actually can take to make more money outside of your 9 to 5. And that's not advising anybody to quit. But one of my favorite scenes from The Dark Knight Rises, when Anne Hathaway, who was Catwoman, and Batman are dancing on the dance floor, she tells Batman, "There's a storm coming. Nothing that you and your friends can do to stop it. You just have to batten down the hatches and get ready for it." And I'm telling y'all right now that there's a storm coming. When we get 55, 60 and stuff like that to retire, they say as of right now, you need 2 million to retire. That number is a little bit too low for me. I think it's probably more like 5 to 10 million. But think how much higher it's going to be in what, 20, 30, 40, 50 years when we retire. Get ready for that right now. Invest in your Roth IRAs. Start getting more high technical skills. Learn how to sell. Learn about human nature and psychology. And then you take all that and start selling online, man. We'll talk about that. But you got anything on that, D?
Yeah, I just want to encourage people to stop. Don't let people tell you the market's oversaturated for something that you have a passion for.
Preach.
Because how many Asians have a nail salon? How many Arab individuals have gas stations? So why, when it comes to Black individuals, we have this mentality? Oh, that's oversaturated. Somebody's already doing that. How many ethnicities or people from other places do think have that lane? So why is it stopping in our lane when it comes to doing certain things? If you sell food, it's room for it. Plenty of people need to eat. You know, if you wash cars, if whatever your lane is, whatever your car detailing, whatever that lane is, don't think because somebody else does it, you say, you know what, I'm not going to do it. It's plenty of room for you. It's plenty of space for you. So go ahead and do whatever your purpose is, or whatever your dreams or goals or aspirations are. It's time out for us to stop saying that we always crabs in the barrel. It's not like that with any other people. And I just gotta say that even with white individuals, it's not that way. So we can't have that mentality like, oh, I can't. And it's always the either or. I can't support this person and this person. Support both of them. You know. So.
Alex, did you have anything? You've been quiet. Like, did you want to interject?
No, every time I was about to say something, I kind of actually said what I was thinking for the most part. But y'all are on a roll. I don't want to stop the flow.
Okay. So, D, how do you think that, honestly, jobs not being safe anymore, remote work ending, people not be able to find a job, how do you feel that's going to impact dating and our millennial age group, and even the ones coming up behind us? We talk about it all the time. I kind of want to get your thoughts before we kind of banter back and forth here.
So I think, again, what I alluded to a little earlier, the roommate, you're gonna have more people. You're gonna have more people with roommates. You're gonna have more people adjusting to their lifestyle. More people that you might see that don't move out their parents' house. You know, you're gonna see a lot of those things where you have to adjust, and you can't say, "Oh, you this age, why are you doing this?" Because look at what's going on around us. You know, so you're gonna see a lot of those things where people can't be all bougie about dating. You're gonna have some realization where a lot of people gonna have their back against the wall, and they're gonna have to understand, well, this person only makes $15 an hour, $20 an hour, and we're gonna have to make do. I only make 22. We're gonna have to make do what we do. Ain't gonna be no more. He need to do this, that, and the third, or she need to be here. You need to do what works for you. Don't look at the social media of the 50-50 and all those other things. It's gonna be a new day where you're gonna see you can't be bougie about things, and that goes for ladies, and it goes for men too. Where you see some of the things, she might need your support, he might need your support. Y'all might have to put y'all money together and go half on that bill, and it's okay.
But here's the thing, though. I agree with what you're saying, but I don't necessarily see the dudes out here that are being picky about the people they deal with. For the most part, dudes will deal with the woman if she's halfway decent, pretty enough, and they find them attractive. We don't necessarily really care about, sometimes even to our detriment, we don't care about their bad attitude or the fact that they're not nurturing. Women have a lot more qualifications for to be involved with them as opposed to us being involved with them.
But don't you think that's going to be an adjustment? Because again, you're not going to be able to. If I'm struggling to pay my rent, you think you're going to talk to me any type of way or have a bad attitude? And I think that's going to change. I think the mentality and the temperament of people. You're going to watch people's temperament change. You're going to have to. I don't want to say this, but it's gonna be a time where we watch The Purge and stuff. I'm not saying that's gonna be like that, but
sure.
Violence will ensue because people are going to. I don't got no money, so I'm gonna try to take somebody else's stuff. I'm gonna try to get by with this.
It's kind of getting to that point now. I was going, not, of course, not at The Purge's level, but like people are doing that stuff right now, and it's funny because for as much hate as Kevin Samuels got, Kevin Samuels always did a good job at kind of breaking the numbers down and why people should feel the way they feel. And they would have black women, average black women. When we say average, we're saying average looks. They would call expecting all these kind of different stats from men, like, qualifications. And Kevin Samuels would basically say that you have a choice to get married. And we talk about it all the time. The majority of people don't make enough money to sustain their livelihood right now. Mm-hmm. You need those two incomes to even save for retirement. Because somebody's money has to go to certain bills. Somebody's money has to be that surplus. Mm-hmm. There's nobody that has that surplus now that if you're in the lower or the middle class. And normally what that surplus does, it goes to you getting ahead. Nobody's getting ahead right now because everything's so damn expensive.
Can't save right now in the way that you would want to.
Exactly.
You can't. It's impossible for most people. I would say it's probably where it's probably 95% of people where it's tough for them to have an actual strong saving.
That's my point. So you have a man making $65,000, a girl maybe making 60, something like that. You come together, y'all making what I just say, 65,
105. You said what?
65.
125.
That'll be at 125.
Okay, so you come together, you making $125,000. That's a lot better than you making 60 by yourself. And at that point, we ain't talk about this either, but majority of us millennials are not going to own a home, bro. And the majority of us, where's most people's wealth stored at? It's in their house, assets. Equity in their house. Mm-hmm. So
things that appreciate too.
We have to stop acting like that dating or getting married is an option now. And for most people, it's not an option. It should be a choice. And I'm not saying just to marry anybody, but marriage should be on your mind to start building that wealth and have that surplus you need to get ahead.
It's going to come again. Even household, if you're making $300K for your household or $350K for your household, people are still struggling, and it's crazy. That's something. Imagine me saying that 10 years ago. People would look at me like I was crazy if I said, if you make $350,000 or $300K for your household, you're still gonna have some struggles.
Yep.
People say, man, you're tripping. Nah, this is the reality of what we're sitting in, what we're in. That's why I say people are gonna have to maybe stay with their parents longer. And they not only for their sake, but for their parents' sake, because they're going to be at the retirement ages where they're not getting the same benefits that people were getting 10, 15 years ago. So it might be beneficial to both.
So I kind of want to go ahead and go into that video before we pull it up, Alex. D, you and I talk about, we don't have to say no names, but like, we know a lot of girls who out here who may have, multiple baby fathers, who may have a bad history of picking men, and they're acting like they have the options to like get a better quality man they already attracted, which is weird to me because Kevin Samuels said this again. You don't get any higher than your baby father. Girls want you to know that their baby father's a bum, haven't done anything for them. They want you to kind of come in and play cleanup. And they want to get a higher man than the one they let get them pregnant. And we always talk about that, bro. Women are really disillusioned with their options. They do not have the options they think that they do. And with that being said, we're going to play this video and then we're going to react to it. Alex, you know what I'm talking about? Not light skin shorty, but the other one. Yep, exactly.
And there's another video I actually saw this morning. A girl had 7 kids, and she said she expected a man to come in and provide for her, not her kids, but it's good because at least 4 of her kids have baby daddy out
Okay.
of the whatchamacallit, out of the 7.
It's like 4 minutes. So
Women also suffer from the illusion of options. I had to realize you're not picking a man out of all the men in the world. You're picking a man out of all the men that like you, specifically on the likes you part. Somewhere along the way, I think we were taught you can have any man that you want. Possibly, yeah, you can have him, but in what way? You may have his time, his attention, his intimacy, but do you have his mind, his heart, his respect? Do you have his commitment to you? I really think we have more options than we do because we believe we're everybody's type. The truth is, a lot of men, they will take you, but they don't always want you. They will take a woman, any woman, a wife. They just want somebody, just like how sometimes we as women just want somebody, anybody. But you're not their ideal girl. And even if you're not their ideal girl, even if you're not their type, you have to be what that person wants 100%. You have to be his type or his new ideal. Maybe you've changed it for him, but still you have to be his 10 out of 10. And I'm not even talking about looks or superficialness, because sometimes a man's dream girl, the one that is the most attractive in the room, the Megan Fox, the Beyoncés, the Angelina Jolies, are still not the women that they treat the best. You have to ensure that this man loves you, like really loves you. And a big part of that is making sure that he's invested in you. If not, then he's settled in some way, or he believes he's settled in some way. And he's not going to tell you that, but his actions will. Never chase a man. And I think that's why sometimes we think we have so many options, because we think, oh, well, I can go out and do the chasing. I can do the pursuing. Chasing a man will lead to a man who tolerates you. The only men you should ever be interested in, that you should ever be considering, are men that like you. They like you. They like you first. That's it. Those are all your options. The men who pursue you, who are attracted to you, who approach you, who want to buy you things, want to help you pay for things, they want to protect you, want to provide for you, they think about you. You shouldn't be the one obsessed with them. You should not be breaking your back, bending over backwards to please, attract, and keep a man. Trying to get him to notice you, trying to show up where he's at, trying to entice him and engage him, overly obsessed with him. It's a humiliation ritual. It's not going to get you what you want, because at the end of the day, you might have him, but you don't necessarily have him. You know, that's why there's so many women on this app, they're married, but they still don't have that man. He's mentally, emotionally, romantically checked out of that relationship. And he always has been. It's just that as time went on, they realized, man, I can't live like this. This isn't actually what I want. But from the start, you were the pursuer, you were the initiator, you were the one trying to catch him, making that person the prize. And I think like we also grew up watching movies where it's like, you know, the bad boys, and, you know, he's so confused and angsty and emotional, and, you know, he's all these issues, and the girl is like running after him and trying to convince him to be with her. They tricked us. They lied to us. That is not how it should work. You will suffer in the end always. And then one day, that man is going to have a daughter, and you will see how he actually acts when he loves a woman, when he loves a girl. He will protect her, provide for her. He's not.
You was gonna say something, D. Go ahead.
No.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just gonna say, take y'all screen, Alex. It's like dealing with women. You have to realize that there's normally is what she's saying on the surface and then what she means behind the scenes. Some of the stuff she said was really, really good, and some I really disagreed with. But the illusion of options, women think they have more options than they actually do. And when I break it down to girls all the time, the kind of guys you're looking for, it's like he's a very small percentage of the guys that actually exist out here. And then once you get past all those filters that you have, 6 feet, 6 figures, 6 inches, whatever you want to say, not only you got to find that man, you have to find him and make him want to like you. and she was saying some things about having a guy like her, this, that, and the third. But I find it funny that women always chase the guys that don't like them or don't care about them that much.
Mhm.
And I think we kind of disagreed on this in the past, D. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but you kind of paraphrased that you say that you think that the guy has to like the woman more in order for a relationship to work, right?
A marriage to work.
I mean, okay, fair enough.
Let me say that a marriage, because, and the reason behind that, right? As men, I feel like we are simple individuals. We are routine individuals, but sometimes we could be nonchalant about things. But when we have a woman where we really care about, as you've seen men that care about cars or different things, you see the work that they put in. You see the things that they do when they really, really care about certain things. So that's why I have that idea of a man, because you see a man that care about his car. You see, especially the older guys, they go clean that car every other day. It seems like, be having the car straight. A guy that's into shoes, you see how his passion is for shoes or fashion. You see what he does, and this is a part of not only what he likes, but this is his lifestyle. A guy that's into fitness, you see what he puts forward. A man that's really into a woman is just different. It's just different. Once you're really into a woman, it kind of changes your perspective on a lot of things. Not saying perfection will be there, but it changes your perspective in a way where I think for a man, when you're younger, like, or when you don't really care, it's almost like if she does something that makes you mad, you still getting that mode of, you know what, I'm still gonna do for her. I'm still gonna take care of her. I'm still gonna make things happen. And that's when you truly becoming a man. A lot of people think they're men by age, but it's what you do. So I think that's a part of it, and that's why I have that idea of that.
I get what you're saying, and I get why you say I still don't agree with you, but I don't want to necessarily argue this point now. We could argue that on a different episode. But my point is to you, the question to you is, why do you think women think they got it better than they actually do?
Well,
Because they get a lot of attention.
It's growing up. It starts when we think of things. Let's go to the root. Like, I'm not a therapist or anything else, but I've noticed this with people. If you start asking people about their childhood, what their experience was, two-parent household, you start talking about some of the things. Even the dad, sometimes when they have that two-parent household, he need to be doing this, that, and the third for you. No one ever tells a lot of the time some women, like, hey, you need to be gentle. You need to be a soft space for this man. You need to do this, that, and the third. It's always what a man should be doing for them versus what things that they can do for a man to make life simple. We talk about it sometimes. A woman in a man's life should be an investment, not a bill. Everybody gets, when you get a bill in the mail, you like, why? You know it's coming, but you get upset at the bill. Nobody want to look at the bill. But when you start looking at those investments that come in the mail, and you say, oh, my stock went up or something, you get excited about those things. So if I can tell a woman anything, make sure you're an investment in that man's life. Don't you. It's okay. Sometimes you're a woman. We have understanding as a man that you might be a little stressful to us sometimes. But if that's all that you do and all that you can provide, I think it's just. But I think the root of it goes back to their childhood and how they were brought up, of being told all the time, he need to do this, that, and the third. If he don't do that, he's not a man. But what makes them a woman? What qualifies them as a woman? Nice. So that's the thing. I think they think I could just show up and I need to get what I need to get and not do anything.
I'm going to say there are three main reasons why a woman thinks she has more options than she does.
Mm-hmm.
One, social media. There are so many guys, Alex, you alluded to it earlier, but women's attention, the attention of men now has become valueless. It doesn't hold any water anymore because so many men are just coming to them all the time, telling them how beautiful you are, and just for existing. Back in the day, a woman had to go out, make herself look pretty, walk out on the street, and actually go out and seek male attention. Now it's given to her endlessly on social media, even by simps in the comments. Go ahead, bro.
It goes back to something my coach used to always say. It's not about your highlights, but I want to see your game film. What's your day-to-day? Yep. Instagram, all the social media shows your highlights of you. Everybody highlight tape looks good. It's showing your highlights. That's what that is.
how many joints you done seen? And like, it's so weird, bro, because when you really know women and know the game, you can spot a girl's insecurity just by her Instagram pictures. I can look at what kind of filters you use, how far you stand back, certain angles. I can pinpoint the exact insecurity that you have. But most guys never call that stuff out. They're just, you're beautiful, you're so gorgeous. And don't get me wrong, some of them do be cute. But the person you see on Instagram and the person that you see in person, it'd be two different people.
Well, listen. I'm gonna just say this. I think it comes to access too on the other side of men to just go into a DM. It's a little different because I was looking at a statistic. I think we talked about it before, where it was well over like 60 or 70%. Most people don't have initial conversation with a woman in person.
Different show.
So it's almost like when people start dating, whether it's a dating app, social media, or anything else, most people don't have that initial conversation with that woman in person. So it's almost like this easy access. So for a woman, this is the thing we're talking about though. For a woman, a woman might have let's say 15 or 20 dudes say something to her on a given day, and you look good. Oh, you beautiful. Can I get your number? They hear this, and so this is associated with my value. I am valued. Look, all these men hit me up, but how many of those men out there 20 want you as a wife or want you as a girlfriend or really want to pursue you and be intentional about you versus the one that's just trying to have sex with you?
Exactly.
Go ahead, Alex.
I was gonna say they affiliate having a lot of attention as a lot of options when it's not the case. It's far from the case.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the second thing that I kind of want to go into, I want to take the same route you took, just different avenue to get there. It's the family thing. And I'm going to speak about Black women because you and I, you're married to a Black woman. I date Black women. 77% of us are raised by single mothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's these women that are saying that, oh, a man should do X, Y, and Z. A man should do this. A man doesn't do this. How do you know what a man does? You never had a man in your home.
Mm. Well, off of social media, off of movies. That's
Tyler Perry movies.
but these are the examples of what a man should do. They don't see a man in the aspect of a man does have weak points in life, and they're gonna have these weak points where even in leadership they might have a long day. You're not your expectation. It kills me when women say men shouldn't do this. A man, how do you know what men should not do? Or what man should do? I know what you can say. This is what I want from a man, but you saying this how a man should be, or this is the killer for me. This is the killer for me. And these are people that grew up in households where they say their mom said, "I'm your father too."
Definitely heard that one before.
You can't be. Unfortunately, you could be a great mom. You can raise your child really to the best, but you cannot be a dad. What a man gives, and just like a man can't be a mother, like it's vice versa.
That's the beautiful thing about it, bro. We both need each other. The masculine and the feminine are very important in child's development. And
the nurturing is important.
And unfortunately, in the Black community, we have enough of the feminine essence. But we kind of we don't take the masculine side serious enough or have enough influence in the masculine side either. It
was something, and this is just a point, and I know we could just talk about things like this forever, but just notice things that are missing when somebody has, don't have that. It's the things I would not say. Just having my pops in my life and stuff it's just things I would not ever say out of my mouth. I know I would never put my hands on a woman. I would things I just would not do. Learning from both of my parents, I think that it was essential having both of my parents for me to hey, you can't do that or you can't do that. Now I feel like both my parents talked to me different growing up too, which was helpful.
You not having a mother or a father will significantly hamper and damage a child's development if you don't have one or the other. Mm-hmm. Sure. I'm not saying that person will turn out a serial killer or a sociopath, but there'll be something missing in a certain aspect of their life.
Mm-hmm.
And for as beautiful as a woman, as a mother's love is, you need that counterbalance of a masculine figure there too, because the mother wants to protect you from every little thing in their life, and they'll instill fear into you, and not knowing that fear will cause you to grow up and then be what dudes would qualify as, a bitch, for lack of a better word. You'll be very emotional. You'll be kind of bitchy. But the father comes in and says, you know what? Let him make mistakes. Teach him a little bit about life. It's that real thing. But when they work together, interact together, it's a beautiful thing.
Well, I think it goes back to us saying like the need for one another, which we talked about for different occasions. The need for a man and a woman. That's why I don't like the man versus woman thing a lot of times, because I need you and you need me. But the thing is, we've grown to this cold-hearted age of I gotta be cold-hearted. That's what makes me look tough. You ain't gonna make me look sweet. You ain't gonna make me look stupid. And I think people are so much of building a fence, right, versus building a bridge. A bridge is more impactful than a fence. So you so worried about building, oh, I'm gonna protect this, I'm gonna protect that. But unfortunately, with any type of growth, with any type of good thing in this life, it takes vulnerability. I'm not telling you not to protect yourself, but it takes some instance of vulnerability for growth.
The last reason that I think that women feel they have more options than they think that they do is, unfortunately, it's us fellas. It really is, because men, we don't operate in a level of honesty to women. We tell them the things that they want to hear, and they think that because we're lying to them, we're telling them the truth. Like, for example, a man, you know what our goal is from Jump Street. We trying to hit. So we would do everything in the world to make sure that we stay on the girl's good side, including tolerate her bad behavior, letting her be late for dates, letting her talk to you disrespectfully, because you know at any point she got a gun to a pussy, she could pull the trigger and you ain't going to get none anymore, right?
Weaponize it.
They do weaponize that, bro. And it's to the point now where, like, men, we have to stop lying to women. If a woman's late to a date, you check her on it immediately. If she's being rude to you, you check her on it immediately. Most guys do not work like that. Do you honestly think if most guys were to check a woman's bad behavior, they would be as entitled as they are right now? No. And then when you meet a man that has boundaries or has respect for himself, all of a sudden,
he's controlling.
Exactly. He's controlling. He's
manipulating.
You already know, bro. You already know. And we talk about this too, bro. Women like dealing with those guys that they can control because it makes them feel better about themselves. Because you already know you deal with a me or you. Like, you're not going to be able to play that game.
And then when you come across a man that, and it's showing sometimes for some women, when you start hearing, hearing some, friends or start talking about the type of man that they deal with, and it's like when a man puts his foot down and they say, "Man, I can't believe he said such and such." I'm sorry, I would say the same thing. Like I don't. The whole thing, something as simple as this: you go out, right? And again, I'm not gonna be too controlling, but if you're gonna have your breasts out, your butt out, and all that other stuff, like, why you need that? Why do you, if you with me, why you need that type of attention? Why do you need that? Because guess what? You could say, "Oh, I'm doing this for me." Let's be real. Are you really doing it? Alex, you can comment on it. Do women really do most things for themselves, or is it to show out for men and get the attention of men?
It's definitely to show out, because I mean, even if I didn't have a man, I'm not going outside like that. So that's crazy.
But I'm saying, that's the thing again. If we comment, as you said, we comment on we're manipulators or we're controlling. No, I know how other men might respond to you having your titties out or your butt out. They're gonna start howling at you soon as you walk in the door. Like we know that other men gonna respond, and there's more so about your safety too. So it's not just like that. Where you can go out and look nice and stuff like that, but to the point of you what you're saying, I think when they start dealing with men like that, they shy away from it because guess what? That man's gonna hold you accountable. And accountability is scary for most women. From a good man.
So I think that we as men have to start holding the women a little bit more accountable and actually telling them the truth and not what they want to hear. And if more men did that, there wouldn't be such a many girls saying, "Oh, they had 3 or 4 baby fathers, but all of a sudden they can get a 6'5" Chad if they wanted to." I'm like, man, come on, bro. You don't got it like that. You don't got to lie to me.
But again, that goes back to the comments, them getting the comments on the stories, he all right, yeah, he gonna say that because guess what he trying to get to?
get to
It's not the altar. It's not the altar.
Yeah.
Trying to get somewhere else. He trying to meet you at the bedroom, not the altar.
And that's funny too. I forgot which one of y'all said it, but like women cannot tell the difference between a guy like that wants to court them and take them serious, and the guy's just trying to get the cookie. That's it, man. Women think because she has 10 guys. Here it is. This was a fire bar. I forgot where I got it from, somewhere on Twitter, but they said that women think they have options because they got 20 broke niggas trying to fuck them, and that's a woman to a T. Most guys are not there for you. They're not going to be there for you spiritually, emotionally, want to build with you or wife you after they had sex, or financially, bro. Different conversation.
Yeah.
And go there all night.
And here's the thing, though. Some women see the man not being there financially, spiritually, and all these other things. And let's go back to letting the dudes that don't really care about them impregnate them, or just keep having sex with these dudes because it's a good feeling. But you cannot sit there and make those type of decisions, right? And this is what happens. You make those type of decisions and you try to make other guys pay for them, the decisions that you made, the sins of your baby father. Don't try to make other guys pay for those decisions that you have made.
But here's the conversation going full circle. And this is not just a shit on woman time, but I noticed that women have a very hard time looking ahead. They're all about, how do I feel right now? What's best for me right now? And here's the thing. When you have 2 or 3 different dudes getting you pregnant, you knew the guy wasn't on anything. You know he doesn't finish anything. You know he's not in school, whatever the case is, right? You're thinking because your parents are alive right now, you're having a little bit of help from the government, whatever the case is, that I'm okay right now, so I'll be okay 30, 40, 50, 60 years down the line. Let's keep it a buck, bro. Most women, even with their parents alive, they're scraping by for pennies right now. When your parent passes on, and let's keep it real, most of the parents don't have life insurance or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the parent passes on, the house is technically left to you. You can't afford to upkeep it. Now all that financial help that you have is gone now. What happens to you and your kids if you're unmarried, 45-year-old single mother? What's going to happen? You're going to be homeless on the street.
And again, it's not just the women, because the men have to make these decisions.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a shared decision, right, of what they do. But you got to understand, most kids, I don't have the statistic of, most kids live with the mom, right?
Yeah.
They're living with the mom. So the dads essentially turn into weekend dads or week by week dads. Like they don't have to carry the burden that you have to do. So again, and it sucks. It's a lot, because you're gonna have to carry this baby for 9 months. You're gonna have to, this child probably most likely gonna be with you. And again, it's not fair, because but men have things and women have things. So notice, sometimes the ball falls on us, sometimes the ball falls on women. But this is the type of thing where you have to be mindful of who you allow to give your body up to, who doesn't. And this is the biggest thing to me. A man that tells you that he's not ready for marriage, but he's ready to have kids with you.
Crazy.
And most people will bash me for saying this, but it's just like, I feel like if a man's saying, I have a kid with you, he's not going to take responsibility for the kid, because in his mind, I can pregnate her, the kid going to live with her, I can live my life, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. So if a man not even having the intentions to marry you, versus if he's more intentional about impregnating you, at some point, what do you want? It might, hey, hold up, what? This isn't a good situation for me.
But see, that's the thing, bro. And I've talked to so many women, both platonically and women that I've dealt with in the past that might have went ahead, had a children. I talked to them for 3 or 4 years. They always sit there and cry to me. Some of them have 1, some of them have 2 and 3. They'd be like, man, I never knew how hard it was going to be being a mother.
Being a parent's hard in general, so I couldn't imagine doing it by myself. I'm going to just tell you that right now.
Especially with multiples.
But see, and this is what the Bible says too. And Tyler Perry said this. It's like the Bible guarantees us we have a few short days on this earth. Paraphrasing here, of course. But those days are going to be filled with trouble. Why are you going to go ahead and add on top of the trouble you already promised by God? by having kids but with an irresponsible person, developing a drug addict addiction, smoking weed, whatever the case is, getting in credit card debt. We're already promised trouble. We don't do anything.
Mhm.
Why go ahead and add more on top of that? For what? And then girls, they be wanting somebody to feel sorry for. I'm like, okay, what do we say? Once is a mistake, twice is a choice.
Yeah. And I'm just say this too, because I do want to address the fellas too. You gotta be careful who you lay with as well. You got to be careful because some good guys out there that make the same type of mistakes. They take care of the kids, do everything, but now the woman, you don't want to be with her because you see how she is. Now she's giving you a hard time with the kid. Now you having problems seeing your kid and stuff like that. So you gotta be mindful of that too. But again, I would say this. I would suggest this, and people probably not gonna like it, but the best avenue or the best place is to have a kid is within a marriage. And people might say, well, you can divorce, you could do, but I guarantee you, most of the time, and sometimes it doesn't happen, but most of the time, that kid, even if the parents separate, it will be a better structure than it would be for not to have that man in the life, or even a woman, because there's some deadbeat moms out here too.
Sure.
Absolutely.
But if women would take the saying "marry before you carry," the world would be a better place, because it literally kills me, bro. People will have sex unprotected, ejaculate into that woman, and both of them are surprised.
The condom broke. Yeah, shut up.
Come on, bro. Like we're not 5 years old. We know how sex and
we 30 plus too. That's what be killing me now.
Bro. Come on, man.
That's what kills me now.
It is what it is, man. So let's go ahead and start wrapping this episode up, man. Back to the American dream being dead. I do want to caution the fellas that you're never going to ever get rich anymore by working a 9 to 5. I think it probably was possible maybe 10 to 15 years ago, because you could work 20, 30 years for a company and then technically be a millionaire in your 401k by the end of that. But I think the days of that are long gone. So the traditional path of getting a job, getting a degree, all the ABCs of life is gone now. You have to start building side hustles and other avenues of income while you're working your 9 to 5. You have a 9 to 5 and the 5 to 9. The 5 to 9 is where you build your purpose, your side projects, work on things that you want to do and other things in your life. Because realize this, guys, layoffs, they're going to happen more frequently. You're not irreplaceable. And remember, the tax system also favors business owners and not employers. So take control of your income and don't rely on a single employer, because you put all your eggs in one basket. That's the closest thing to having nothing. What do they say? One is almost as bad as having none. You almost need about 2 of everything these days. And that sometimes includes women, different conversation. But the corporate world is broken beyond repair. And we need to find ways to escape this 9 to 5 life cycle. Alex or D, y'all got anything on that?
I think the biggest thing is to think outside the box. You really got to think outside the box during this period. How can I be innovative? What is my passion? What is something I'm good at? Hone in on some skills. It's a time where you're seeing not only layoffs, it's a lot of things AI related, which are taking over some of the job markets.
Yep.
So, you have to ask yourself, what can I do that's not only economic proof, but pandemic proof, AI proof? What is something that I can do, a skill that I can provide, or a service I can provide to people where I can really, really gain income for me and my family? I would tell people to also consider some things that are like passive income things that you possibly can do. Do your research. You're gonna sit down and do research. Sometimes you gotta turn that show off. Stop listening to that music, and you have to hone in and get some research skills. And I gotta stay up late some nights to figure out what that is.
Now, this is where I will say we 110% have the advantage. we are more distracted than any generation in history,
Mhm.
but we also have more information than millennials or Generation X ever had. Because back in the day, if you wanted to learn how to become a carpenter, wherever the case is, you had to go to a library, have an apprenticeship, whatever the case
You
is.
on YouTube?
You can learn any skill now on YouTube. It's about having some focus and how bad do you want it. And I also will tell everybody as well. Not everybody wants to be a content creator. I get it.
Mhm.
But content creation is the new wave. It's
Mhm.
the creator economy, which is why I've gone so hard onto this. And I tell Alex about it all the time and all my other friends as well. There are so many people that are less talented than you. They're not as funny as you. They're not as interesting as you are. But guess what? They have hundreds of thousands of followers. Not everybody wants to be Castanet. I get it. But you can go out there and start making some
Monetize
content
it.
and monetize that,
Mhm.
man.
Yeah.
Extra $1,000, $2,000 a month, that can help you out tremendously.
So it's crazy. My wife keeps on telling me go ahead and do something because we sat down and thought about it. Like you're like, hey, you need to maybe talk about your leadership and everything. Because I sat back and thought, I'm a leader at home, I'm a leader at church, I'm a
Yep.
leader at the
Yep.
workplace, I'm a leader.
Coaching now?
I'm coaching now. So I'm a leader in different aspects of my life. And people may be doing the same thing and say, hey, how you handling that? Or how you know getting by. So it's just stuff like that. But my problem is I don't really I it's a struggle for me to set up a camera and hey, I'm cooking dinner. Like I'm the cook in my house too. I'm making dinner. So I have to do all
Yeah.
these things and make sure everybody eat weekly. Things like that. So it's almost like I have to buy into it. But again, when you look at big picture, you consider a lot of things, especially what's coming.
I definitely think you should do that too, bro, because even the conversation we had, not even just outside of this one, you have a lot of wisdom and a lot of knowledge, and people would like love to pick up on that. And I'm not going to lie, it's a little bit weird kind of picking up cameras and trying to like record you. You feel like a little bit of a doofus after a while. But after you've done it for a while, you won't even notice it, bro. And I'm not saying I'm perfect because I'm not, but I'm trying to get to
Mhm.
that point where it's just like second nature. Okay, bring the camera out, do X, Y, and Z. So. We have one more reaction video, then we're gonna go ahead and shut this down. I saw this video on TikTok, and this girl actually lives in the DMV somewhere. I forgot where she is. But it basically talks about why guy best friends do not.
Guy best friends do not last. I had two homeboys
Oh, I thought. Let me wait.
Now go ahead.
Okay.
that were my friends for 4 years, all through college. You could not tell me that these men were not going to be the uncles to my children. Like, brother, locked in, thought they were going to be my best friends for the rest of my life. I would have put money on it. But unfortunately, like I always say, when you make plans, God laughs. The reasons that I'm going to say are not all reflective of why my friendship didn't last. I'm just going broader scale because apparently this happens to a lot of people. If your guy best friend gets a girlfriend, there's a shift in priorities that happens here, which is fine and which is to be expected. Unfortunately, though, a lot of men do not know how to balance or compartmentalize those priorities. A lot of them end up feeling like they have to choose one or the other. When a guy gets into a relationship, his time and attention naturally shifts to his girlfriend, as it should. This in turn can make the friendship less of a priority to him. Both of my guy best friendships ended for two completely different reasons. We're going to get into the first one, jealousy. His girlfriend, 9 times out of 10, will start to feel uncomfortable that her man has a close woman best friend, even if the friendship is completely platonic and has always been completely platonic. I don't want to say this is every case, but I do just want to tell you, as a girl that's gone through it, when your guy best friend gets a girlfriend, just prepare for the worst. And the worst being that y'all's friendship will end. Just prepare for that and be pleasantly surprised if that doesn't happen. If that girlfriend sets boundaries that he cannot spend time with you, that he needs to stop talking to you, that she's uncomfortable with the fact that you're around, be prepared that he's going to obey and he's not even going to try and advocate for your friendship at all. Because 9 times out of 10, they're going to want to just do whatever to make the girlfriend just shut up. Obviously, as the girl best friend, you want to make sure that you're making the girlfriend feel comfortable as well. I definitely had a few conversations with the girlfriend of my homeboy, just trying to reassure her, like, girl, there is nothing at all. Like, I actually really enjoy you guys together. You guys are really cute. That's my brother. Like, we've never even crossed that line. Definitely do your part on your end as the girl best friend to try and make sure that everybody's comfortable. But again, you can only do so much. If she still don't like you, baby, you got to throw in the towel, man. And you just got to accept that your friendship's about to end. Another reason that homeboys don't really last is they start having feelings for you. Or maybe they've been had feelings for you. If they start liking you and try to pursue that, it's going to change the dynamic. On top of that, say you get a boyfriend and your homeboy been liking you the whole time. Pay attention to how your homeboy is acting about that. Obviously, if the man is no good for you, he's shown obvious signs that he's not good for you, of course your homeboy's gonna call it because he's a man and he knows what it is. So if he's telling you and warning you, that's one thing. But if the guy is not doing nothing to you and you guys are having a great time and your homeboy just keeps, you should be with him, I don't trust it, pay attention to that, okay? It's easier to be best friends when it's just single people and y'all can just do whatever. You don't have to worry about, oh, let me not do this out of respect for my partner because it might look weird, even though to us it's nothing. But 9 times out of 10, when one of you gets in a relationship, something throws it off. Something becomes weird. I think about my old guy best friends all the time. It's so hard. I literally still tear up. I still cry thinking about it because I really wish that things didn't have to go the way that they went with them. But how to handle it? Give that person space. Give him space. If he's doing weird things, let him be weird over there. Try not to take it personally. And I know that's the pot calling the kettle black because, baby, I'll be taking all this personally. But just try not to. Focus on your friendships that remain consistent. Yes, I miss those people. I miss what we had. I miss our memories. But at the end of the day, look at all the people who are here right now that have not left me, that have not betrayed my trust, that have not been disloyal to me, that have been here to listen to me cry and go through everything that I've gone through in the past few years. That's something to be grateful for. And if none of this applies to you and you're a guy best friend and you are cool and y'all are in relationships and y'all still have the same friendship, you're one of the lucky ones and I'm really happy for you. Pray on it. If you want that person back in your life, pray for them, pray about the topic, and whatever's in God's will happen. I pray about it all the time. Hopefully I get to see my friends again in some capacity and get on better terms with them. I would love that, but I would also be fine if that never happens. And that's the mindset you need to have. Peace with or without.
Come work a bar shift.
I don't really even know where to start with this. Women bug me sometimes. I'm just not gonna lie. Let's keep it a buck, bro. Let's keep it a buck, man.
She said he might start liking her.
I'm not even talking about. We gonna get past. Don't let me forget that, Alex. But this is my thing. Why are women always so pressed to have men as their friends? And she said one thing. She was like, "Oh, when they get in a relationship, they stop coming around." Keep it a buck, bro. Who goes MIA more when they get in relationships, a man or a woman, bro?
Women. I've never had a friendship with a woman where it was me that like went back. Of course, it's some boundaries, right?
Sure,
it's boundaries, but it's never been a situation I stopped talking to him or I said, "Oh, don't call me or hit me up no more." I mean, I don't want to be with no woman that that has that, especially if I didn't give you, the energy that me and a best friend had something going on. So that's kind of weird. That's what it threw me off from the beginning because that's not. It's something that you're doing for even a woman to say, "Nah, you can't be around her." What are you doing?
And let's keep this a buck, bro. She's a pretty girl, And it goes back to what we were saying earlier. Most guys are not honest with women. They rather would sit around and be in her friend zone than potentially mess up their friendship. And they'll say, "You know what? I can't have her maybe romantically. So since I can't have her that way, I'd rather be around her in some capacity, right?" Mm-hmm. So she thinks she's just this really good friend. I can almost guarantee you, bro, I'm going to keep it a buck. Most women who I have been friends with really weren't really good friends. Mm-hmm. It was majority of the time me putting sides into their relationship. Because think about this, bro. We bring so much value as men, bro. Even without us having sex with the woman, we still bring them what? Emotional stability. Listen to their problems.
Go change their tires.
We change their tires, all this stuff, right? Because remember, mm-hmm. women want to have as much time strifing from you and not give up sex. We want to have sex, not give up time. So when a woman's your friend, she's getting all the boyfriend benefits from you without her having to fulfill her boyfriend obligation having sex with you. So that's why she misses these men.
That's why, again, like you said, some women want that because they benefit from it.
Yeah.
They just plain out benefit from having male friendships versus having the female friendships, because you go out with your female friend, y'all going half on it. It's gonna be that situation. You have to pay. You would rather go out with your male best friend, or because he might say, "I got it, it's cool." Just being a manly, like having having that energy where you say, you know, don't worry about it, or I got you. But you know those things add up.
The thing that I've learned about women, bro, where there's no value of a girl getting something out of you, she's not going to be around you.
Not at all.
Believe me, guys, if a girl's around you in any kind of capacity, she's getting something from you.
Mhm.
I don't care if it's leadership, friendship, money, whatever the case is. If a girl's not getting anything out of you, she ain't going to be around. So never let her play you like, oh, she's doing you a favor by being your friend. You're doing her a favor, bro, because it's not a reason. There's a reason she misses these guys. Not because she's sexually attracted to them or she wants to have sex with them. It's because they bought value. So remember, woman want it all. She wants her boyfriend, her best friend. She wants the simps in her DM. She wants the attention. They want everything. Don't ever let a girl play you like this, man. Don't let it happen. And the funny thing about it is you actually would do better, if I'm being honest, by getting a girlfriend and not being that girl's friend zone in the first place. Because what do they say? The way to not be in the girl's friend zone is what? To never be there in the first place. Stop being a simp. If she's a cute girl you want to be with, I tell girls this all the time. Your friendship means nothing to me. If a girl's cute, I like being around her. She's a good person. I'd rather have all those things going on with her and have sex with her on top of that.
I would say this. If you are a man that wants a woman, don't ever take another position. Don't ever say, okay, I'll be your friend. Yep. Don't ever do that because you're never getting up out of there. And if you do, it might just be, it's going to be far, far down the line. And it ain't even going to be what you want. Because then you going to watch this woman run through a whole lot of men. And you ain't going to feel the same anymore. So.
One dude waited for 10 years. It's crazy.
10 years?
Yeah. Put it on.
I'll tell you after the show, bro. She wilding right now.
Hey, well, y'all tell me that's crazy. 10 years.
Hey, but here's the final recap of this.
I'm sorry, that threw me off.
Listen, never be a woman's friend because women, generally speaking, are not good friends. You're going to find hard pressed to actually find a woman friend. If a woman's going to be your friend, she better damn well be a good friend. And I'm talking about sometimes paying for some things, helping you move, making you meals. It shouldn't be a one-sided thing. Never be a woman's friend unless you're having sex with her. Friends with benefits is cool. But friends with no sex, only time you should be friends with a woman is what? Is if you're not attracted to her, and if you're doing business, or you already had sex with her. Any other time, it ain't worth it. Just keep it in the buck.
Well, I only would say women can be bad friends at times because I related to their friends. Like their friend, when we talking women and women, we ain't even talking about men and women. Let a woman miss another's birthday party.
I knew you was gonna say that.
A birthday party, anything. Let them do that.
You already know what's about to happen. It's World War III.
Let them outdress them on their birthday.
Woman to caddy. And don't get me wrong, like I like spending time with women and being around them and stuff. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoy that. But again, if she's going to be a friend with you, she better damn well be a good friend. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, man. Again, just as you give value to that woman and being around her, she needs to give you value. And this is how I mean, like it just like if you can ask me for something, I should be able to ask you for the same thing, especially if you're saying this is platonic. I should be able to ask you for the same thing that you're asking me for. So
let's get ready to shut this down. Fellas, give you guys a little recap. Remote work and the job market, period, it's dying. Adjust accordingly. The job market is going to make dating and your relationships a little bit harder, guys. The days of a single income and a mother staying home with 2 kids, and unless you're like a multimillionaire, those days are over. Do your best in the world, best thing in the world to try to make that happen as fast as possible. Make as much money as you can right now, because when you make money now on the front end, you can focus on things that really matter, like your family. I see what you're saying. I am not saying that.
I keep saying it, and you keep looking at me crazy. Keep going.
Yeah, so the American dream is also dead. Stop relying on one source of income, fellas. Control what you can control. the system is rigged and it is harder to live, but the good news is there are ways to escape the matrix. We're going to be going over some of those things. I'm going to find some people on Shattered Illusionz that can come on and talk about those things moving forward for you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to go ahead, pass it to Alex. How you feel about the show, Alex? Welcome back.
Thank you. I feel like I had a good show. I love when D's here. Y'all always have good conversation. I do want to let him know that the 49ers agreed to trade wide receiver Devo Samuel to the Commanders for the 5th round pick. So that just went
Put the camera back on me.
Got you.
First, I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior, who's the head of my life, because we needed that second option. We had an old Zach Ertz as a second option as a receiver.
He was balling, though.
Is that confirmed?
Yeah.
Is that confirmed?
Yes,
When did that confirm?
I just got the notification. I stay getting it, and I be on it.
You know what?
Ask him.
You know
I'm
what?
always on top of it.
Ain't he good? Ain't he good? Oh, he a little sad. Now put the camera on him.
Yeah, listen,
okay.
my team won us 2
Go ahead.
I'm good.
Okay,
All
that's
right.
cool. Congratulations. That's so old. He talking about something in the past. We talking about the future. Then you just say we gotta talk.
Can't
We
complain
talking about the
about
future. He talking about the past.
Hilarious, bro.
Don't get stuck in the past, bro.
Hey, but D, go ahead, plug your business, everything you got going on, man.
Yeah. So, major assessments, financial. If you are in need of a financial commercial loan, we are able to help you. Just get in contact with me, and you can go to our website. Actually, Major Assessments Financial. Just a quick Google search. You could even plug in. Maybe we'll tag it as well. Again, if you need overhead, anything you need, new existing business, we're able to help you. Got a few other things coming down the pipeline as well, of services that will be under the branch of Major Assessments. But stay tuned.
D, Alex, I appreciate y'all. This is a fire conversation. D, appreciate you. Alex, thank you for working the cameras and everything. That, as I always say, that be like all our time to the next time, fellas. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm not going to really reveal what I've been got going on, because I feel like I've been talking a lot. It's going to be more action 2025. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And as you guys know, this is the Shattered Illusionz Podcast. Kill the fantasy, build the dream. We are out of here. Love y'all, boys.
Will I take him to the greatest? Yeah.